So this lick here is another great example of how Guthrie gets, again, from one part of the neck to another, doesn't use any real sequences or patterns. He's thrown in some arpeggios, a little chromatic movement, and this one actually feels really good under your hands. There's just something about it that I think feels really good. So this one starts out with, right? So that very beginning is just walking down some scale notes. Then he does this little pivoting thing. Right? So you... Then he stops in this position in the neck, and that's where he starts messing around. Instead of just continuing down, you know, just going down, he stops and he starts improvising and to make it kind of last a little longer. Then he adds some chromatic notes, goes back down some scale tones. And that's where he throws in those arpeggios. Right? They're one note per string, little arpeggios. But that gets him down from one position to the next. So you see how he's got all this stuff going on. And then after that, he gets into that little chromatic thing, which is really cool. Right? Now there, the cool part is, if you look at that chromatic line, it's a 4-note sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he starts on the second note of the pattern and does 4 notes again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Now that's not truly chromatic, but it's still that sequence kind of thought. And then he just goes down 3 notes. Right? Now that's something you can quickly use in your own playing. Again, think of, we'll do A minor pentatonic, and we'll use, say, the B string. And now that starts introducing the flat 5 there. Right? It's just a really cool way to quickly throw in some kind of chromatic movement. And that pattern just works really well, 4, 4, and then 2. Now, the other thing to take note of is that very beginning part, that sequence part, where he goes down scale notes, then he pivots off some notes, and then he shifts to another position. Well, take any scale. Take, say, your C major scale, right? You have, just again, so we don't have to think naturals or, sharps or flats. Right? You just know all your natural notes. Now you can do a sequence where you go, right? And you see how it gets you from this part of the neck to this part, but you're not just walking down a single scale, you're throwing in this pivoting kind of sequence. And I kind of skip a note there. And then you can revisit that pivot too. You can have, right, just a really cool way to start using these concepts. Pick out patterns and figure out how those patterns work in some other scales or arpeggios that you already know.